Namaste everyone. Today I am going to tell you about the Eastern Coastal Plain and Western Coastal Plain. Western Coastal Plain is situated in between Western Ghat and Arabian Sea. Similarly, the Eastern Coastal Plain it is situated in between the Eastern Ghat and the Bay of Bengal. Now according to picture we can say that the Western Coastal Plain is narrow whereas the Eastern Coastal Plain is broad. The most important thing is the Western Coastal Plain are unable to grow any crop because leaching is common in this region. This region receives very high rainfall and the Eastern Coastal Plain is suitable for growing crops as numbers of deltas are here and this is the broader one, so most probably all types of grains can be grown in the Eastern Coastal region. In the Eastern Coastal region is divided into two parts. The northern part, in the north of river Godavari, the complete coastal part is known as the Northern Sarkar, and in the south of river Krishna, the coastal plain is known as the coast is known as Coromandel Coast. Similarly, the western coastal plain this is also divided into three parts. The northern part is known as the Konkan Coast. The rest part of the plain in the south is known as Kannad Plain and the southern coast is known as Malabar Coast. This is a little about the Eastern Coastal Plain and the Western Coastal Plain. Let us discuss about the nodes of the coastal plain. The coastal plain. The peninsular plateau is flanked by a stretch of narrow coastal strips running along the Arabian Sea on the west and the Bay of Bengal on the east and named as Western Coastal Plain and Eastern Coastal Plain respectively. Let us discuss about both the Western Coastal Plain and Eastern Coastal Plain. Some points are given. We will write points one by one. Point number 1. It is situated between the Western Ghat and the Arabian Sea, whereas under the Eastern Coastal Plain, it is situated between the Eastern Ghat and the Bay of Bengal. Now, under the Western Ghat, it is a narrow plain. Under Eastern Coastal Plain, it is wide and level. Now the third point is it has three sections. The northern part of the coast is called the Konkan Coast between Maharashtra and Goa. The central stretch is called the Konkan Plain and the southern stretch is referred to as the Malabar Coast. Under the Eastern Coastal Plain, it has two sections. The northern part is known as the Northern Sarkar and the southern part is known as the Coromandel Coast. The next point is important rivers are River Narmada and River Tapi, and for the next is the important rivers are Mahanadi, the Godavari, the Krishna and the Kaveri. Next point under western coast is these rivers make estuaries, and under the eastern coastal plain these river makes delta. The next point under western coastal plain is this coast receives orographic rain and against this coast receives convectional rain. Finally, the plain is not suitable for growing crop as it is not fertile, whereas the eastern coastal plain, this plain is very fertile due to deltas and used for growing crops.